Are you ready? It's time for Disturbin the Burbs.
Welcome to Disturbin the Burbs. I'm Jen Sharon.
And I'm Jen's monkey boy, Jim Sharon.
Oh, and what does that mean, honey?
Oh, we'll find out in a little bit.
Good Lord.
Okay. So how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
We're sitting behind the mics once again, and it's actually not even 2 weeks after our last episode.
I'm so proud.
Yes, we should be very proud of ourselves. It's a milestone. It's a Christmas miracle after Christmas. It's an after Christmas miracle.
Don't say the C word right now.
Why?
Because we still have a tree in our living room.
You shouldn't have told. You shouldn't have told. Yes, folks, here it is, February 8th. That's when we're recording this. The shame. And we still have, well, 2 technically trees up in our house.
And the village.
And the village is up. And the nutcrackers are still up. Yeah. And the big Merry Christmas signs. So there's still a fair bit around the house. I think I'm going to insert some little Christmas.
Is there a noise of patheticness that you can input?
Oh, there's plenty of sound effects that sound pathetic, like one long drawn out fart or something like that.
Okay, I'll leave you to that.
Okay, but anyway, here we are. And should be releasing this episode tomorrow on February 9th.
Okay.
Awesome. So just want to give everybody a nice big thank you for your continued support and downloading our episodes and listening to us online.
Definitely.
We definitely see when you guys do that and really appreciate our faithful audience that even after being gone on a long hiatus, that they still come back and listen to us when new episodes arise. So that's always very, what would you say?
Gratifying.
Yeah, very gratifying. And
it's cool that I feel like we're getting more input from our listeners now, too. The occasional suggestion or comment afterwards. So that's cool.
It keeps on growing just over time, and I love seeing that. I love that our audience continues to grow and that we continue to get more interaction. It's always fun.
And how do they interact with us, honey?
Oh, they interact with us in many, many ways, but a couple ways that you can interact with us is either through social media, right?
Correct.
There's, we've got a Facebook page. We're on Instagram. You can send us an email directly to, Disturbin the Burbs at disturbintheburbs.com or Jim at Disturbin the Burbs.
We have a website.
Yeah, on the website. Just go out there. You can email us.
We have a hotline.
Oh, we do have a hotline indeed. I almost forget about it.
And what's that number, honey?
It is 1-206-800-6405. Again, that's 1-206-800-6405.
There you go.
And it had some technical issues for a couple months that we weren't even aware of. And it wasn't picking up our calls that people had been leaving behind.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it was hitting kind of a brick wall. And so they've got all that fixed on the service that we use. So that phone number is active. It does work now.
Well, cool now.
And we can get that back going. So if you want to call and leave a message for Jen and I, we're not actually, monitoring the phone line ourselves. It just goes directly to voicemail. So if you have some sort of secret that you want to tell us or have a suggestion for one of our podcasts, feel free to call that and leave us a message.
We love it.
We love it. That's for sure. Hey, big day yesterday.
If you live in Kansas City or Tampa Bay.
Right. And the rest of the world, I think everybody was eager to watch the Super Bowl.
I just am bitter whenever my team isn't playing, so I didn't really care about
I don't know that
Super Bowl.
The Seahawks had a snowball's chance this year, but it was good. They had a good season. They had a nice, good, solid season. Mm-hmm. They won a lot of games. They got to the first wild card playoff, and then, yep, that was it. And guess who was back? It was the greatest of all time, Tom Brady.
I just didn't want him to win.
And they won the Super Bowl. And I felt sorry for Kansas City. They just couldn't make it happen
at all in any way. It was terrible.
Their team was riddled with injuries, from what I'm understanding, and they just didn't bring their A game, and it was just almost kind of embarrassing to watch.
Yeah,
it was clearly very one-sided. But anyway, it is what it is. Sports. Yay.
Yeah, sports ball happened yesterday. We had nachos
and wings
all by ourselves.
And beverages as usual. Yep. No social gathering at the Sharon house this year. It was interesting there. They played in Tampa Bay, and the stadium looked full.
I know. I was so shocked at first.
You and I were like, what the fuck? How many people are there? Then we realized that there were about 30,000 cutouts where people could actually spend $100 and get a cutout made of whatever picture you sent them.
Right.
And it could be in the stadium. And then there were about still 25,000 people.
Still a lot of people.
Yeah, still a lot of people there.
There was more spacing between parties than I originally was scandalized to see. But
you could still consider that a super spreader event.
What would I spend $100 on before a cutout of myself that might have some fraction of a chance of getting seen on TV?
I don't know. So,
but there you go.
Yeah. Were you at least entertained?
I probably watched 30% of the game, but I tried to catch all the commercials.
Sure. Well, what was your favorite commercial? Did you have a favorite?
Oh, I'd have to. I wasn't prepared for that question, actually.
Well, it's right there in the script.
I mean, I didn't.
You don't pre-read the script, do you?
I didn't sit and decide on what was my favorite. There was a few that made me laugh, but there just weren't as many big deal ones this year. So,
well, the one that took me by surprise was, I think, one of the very first ones that they aired. That there was Flat Matthew McConaughey.
That was
and it was
funny.
for Doritos 3D. Yeah, that was kind of creepy / funny with him walking around.
It was a bit creepy.
Very flat.
Actually, I don't know if you watched the Saturday Night Live from last week with Dan Levy, and they had a skit making fun of Super Bowl commercials where it's like touching, Black history or, real issues, and that's why you need to eat Cheetos or eat,
I saw that.
Cheese crackers or whatever.
Cheez-Its.
And that's kind of what I felt like on some of these commercials. It's like this great, really heartfelt, family, coming together, brought to you by Toyota.
Right.
So
yeah,
I
just
guess
to sell products.
That's my commercial takeaway this year.
Yeah. The only other one that I was remotely amused at was Paramount Studios has a new streaming service. I think it's Paramount Plus or something like that.
Okay, it's coming back to me.
And they were showing all the content that they're going to have on Paramount Plus, and of course Beavis and Butthead was there, and at one point Butthead was like, crack.
Right, she said crack.
I can't remember the context, but it just remembered
all these years later, and they can still make me crack up.
Right, it reminded me how much. It reminded me how much I loved Beavis and Butthead. And
totally.
I have to. We've done our son a misservice by not showing him.
I think he's old enough now that he could be shown Beavis and Butthead
and appreciate it for what it is. So anyway, that's something we'll have to do. What else did we do this last weekend? We
had an errand that we ran.
And during the pandemic and quarantine, we look for
errands our life.
Yeah, errands are our life to make excuses to go out and
This is why I came with you, even though this had nothing to do with me.
Right. But I have a friend that lives over in the West Seattle area that also has a podcast, and I'll give him a little plug. His name is DJ King Blind, and he's a friend of mine, and he has a podcast, and it's purely music-based.
Cool.
Very eclectic music taste. A lot of stuff you'll recognize, but I love the way he puts together his playlist for his podcast.
Nice.
You won't find this particular podcast on Spotify because of their licensing issues, but you can find DJ King Blind and his Big Beat radio show podcast everywhere else. You look, it's on Apple and
Oh, so I didn't realize it was just Spotify that had that major issue.
yeah, I think that he's kind of skirting under the wire by not being on Spotify. So anyway, I had a piece of podcast gear that I was loaning to him. And so we drove over there, dropped it off, and he said, hey, what are you guys doing? You should go do this, this, and this, and go by the taco wagon. And that was where I completely spaced listening to him.
Stopped listening after that.
Because once he said taco wagon, that's I knew that was in our near future.
Outdoor dining,
Yeah.
safe to.
So we did. We found the taco wagon, and the taco wagon's name is El Camion. And for those of you that live in West Seattle and know your food trucks, that's where we were. And El Camion, you looked that up, and what does that stand?
It literally means the truck.
The truck, right?
Which is pretty cool.
And it's a legit taco wagon, and they were fantastic. I had 3 tacos. Jen ordered this massive fish quesadilla, and it was amazing.
No, it was going to be massive. I ate half of it.
Yeah, she definitely got her money's worth on that one. I think it was $10, and I think it was the size of...
I mean, even eating half of it, I was completely full.
Yeah.
And it was just...
It was like a manhole cover. It was that
pieces of
size.
fish just kept dropping out of it. It was so gigantic.
Yep. Folks, that's what our excitement was. We went on a road. West Seattle is south of where we live by about, 25 miles. And so that was kind of our big thing for the weekend.
Pretty much. I mean, you just consider it a scenic drive,
Right.
It's good to get out of the house.
Yeah. Valentine's Day is coming up here pretty soon.
Yeah, that'll be the excitement next weekend.
What are all you lovers out there doing for your special one on Valentine's Day? Yeah. Well, phase 2 has opened back up. So that means that the restaurants are slowly opening back up at 25% capacity.
Very limited way, but still it's good.
Jen and I traditionally do not go out on the 14th. Specifically because usually prices at restaurants are jacked up on the 14th.
Or they do those prefix menus where you don't have the choices.
Right.
And we found that dining out on that holiday service is lacking.
Yep. And so we choose to go out on alternate days, whether it's the 12th or the 15th or 16th or whatever.
Yep.
But we're going to actually go out on Friday the 12th this year.
Right on.
And to one of our local favorites. Give a shout out to Emery's.
Emery's, yes.
Yeah, on Silver Lake. It's a great little restaurant. Not more than 5 minutes from our house. And
surf and turf.
Surf and turf. It's wonderful, nice and cozy. It's got a view of a small lake. But anyway, that's what we're going to go do. What are you guys doing? Hope you're having fun, whatever you're doing, and showing your lovers some lovely lover time.
Ow.
Chicka, chicka, wow, wow. I don't know what I was doing there. I just, I'm winging it.
That's all right, honey.
We've got a lot here to cover, and we should quit yammering on.
All right,
here.
well, what else is up this week?
I found out that the Chinese New Year is starting on February 12th.
Oh, okay.
And it is the year of the ox. And we're not going to deep dive into Chinese New Year, but I thought it was worth covering as I started reading about it. And it's kind of like
culture.
What does the year of the ox mean? Well, let me tell you.
Okay.
It's the ox is a valued animal. The oxen are honest and earnest. They are low key and never look for praise or to be the center of attention. They often hide their talents.
I had no idea oxen were so deep. Very interesting.
I don't know. I think this is kind of going off on, I'm reading from ChineseNewYear.net. So if you want to find out more about Chinese New Year, go out to ChineseNewYear.net.
There you go.
But anyway, it's it's interesting. I don't know if these are the values that we should hold as humans.
Yeah, does that like represent this year in some way? I mean,
yeah.
I get it when you're born in under a sign that's your sign and those attributes are yours.
Right.
But like the year of the ox, does that mean everybody this year is going to have those attributes?
I have no idea.
That's born this year.
Right.
Right.
Like I said, I just kind of dip my toe in the water when it comes to Chinese
cool.
New Year, and I don't know much about it.
Well, here, can I read about your sign, hon?
So I guess I am the year of the monkey.
Yes, you are.
Oh, so what does that mean?
Okay, so here it is. Men born in the monkey year are enthusiastic and responsible.
I can see that.
They totally are. Holy
Sure,
cow.
yeah. So responsible.
They're I could talk about that. Anyway, they're humorous and can make anyone laugh. Also tracks. They also know how to easily get what they want.
Yeah, I don't think I'm quite that good at persuasiveness.
Oh, maybe that factor. Is
what else? What else?
They are stubborn and a bit immature.
Yeah, that rings true.
I'm not going to speak about that, but actually tolerant.
Okay.
Yeah. Other zodiacs might only focus on people's faults, but these men can look past most faults. They're also very forgiving. Many times they don't even remember what happened.
Yeah, no, I think that rings true. I don't hold grudges for the most part,
However, they can be problematic too. It's hard for them to persevere since their interests are always changing. That's totally you.
Yep.
They're the typical opportunist and can't maintain long-term relationships.
Well, I don't think that's true.
We've been married 20 years this month, so I think that
that's one of my relationships.
Next month, I mean.
But, that's just,
But still, a lot of that,
long-term
I can
friends.
see a lot of that ring true for you.
Sure, absolutely.
At least 3/4 of it.
Yeah.
Okay, what am I?
So, Jen, you were born in the year of the pig, like I mentioned earlier.
And I am in love with that.
Oh man! So here's what the Chinese New Year says about women that are born in the year of the pig. They're full of excrement. No, wait, I said that says excitement. Oh, okay. They attend social events whenever possible and treat everyone genuinely. Does that ring true?
No.
Yeah, you're not a big social butterfly.
No, I'm not.
Combined with their easygoing personality, they gain everyone's trust.
I mean, I feel like I'm trustworthy at least.
Yeah, you're pretty easygoing. You don't have a stick up your butt or anything.
Thank you.
However, they are sometimes over-friendly. In their excitement, they can forget to give others personal space. Now, see, that's so not you.
I don't think that's true at all.
And maybe I got the wrong year here. I'm pretty sure that I 71.
Hey,
right?
we didn't say your year, asshole. 1968 there, honey.
Yeah. Okay. So we're not ancient by any means, but we're up there. Oh, okay. So pigs, they also have good fortune and wealth. As long as they keep at it, the efforts will not go to waste. Though they don't start with an advantage, their hard work will keep money flowing in.
Let's just skip that part.
How's that going, honey? At home, they are highly organized. If the room is messy, they'd stay up the entire night to clean it up.
Oh my God, this is such a failure.
These women love children too. Well, there you go. There's the silver lining.
Okay.
All right. And playing with children is one of the things that bring them the greatest joy. And I would say that that's pretty accurate for you. That
something rang true.
Your son is something that gives you the
just
greatest
saying,
joy.
It's a good thing I have a financial management company to keep my money investment stuff going. And it's a good thing that we have a house cleaner that we love because I'm a really bad house cleaner. Really bad.
Anyway. Let's move on.
That was fun.
Let's move on. The last thing that I thought was really, really interesting is the celebration of Chinese New Year. I think it takes about 2 weeks. And that's something that we, as a country, we just don't do. And
well, I mean, I'm sure there are segments of the population that
celebrate this.
We just are on the fringe of that.
Yep, definitely on the fringe. And I love that culture. And at the end, on I think it's February 26th, one thing I wanted to mention, I don't think I mentioned earlier, was that the Chinese New Year does not fall on the same date every year. Sometimes it starts in January, sometimes it starts in February.
Well, that's interesting.
Just based on which animal.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. So I'll have to do some more reading on that of why it alters from
this
year to year.
The Festival of Lanterns is on the 26th.
26th. And if any of you have ever been around a festival or anything like that where hundreds of paper lanterns are lit and let loose up into the sky, it's really amazing to see.
I would love to see that in person.
Yeah. And so I think I'm going to go out on Amazon.com and buy 3 paper lanterns for you, me and Carter, and on the 26th, when it gets dark enough, we'll light that up into the sky.
That's cool.
And leave our carbon footprint of garbage up in the sky.
Well, hopefully I think they're pretty biodegradable. We'll look into it.
Yeah, I think they all burn before they
That too.
hit the ground again. So anyway, Chinese New Year. I encourage you to go out to
Learn a bit
Amazon,
more.
and buy paper lanterns and join us in spirit.
We're all in this together.
Is that a
You
song?
can cut that out because that was from High School Musical. So
Okay. Not cutting it out. Hey, the watch list. Are you ready for the watch list? What did we watch
Yes.
this week?
I like this part.
Yeah, it's always one of our
And
favorite.
we
but let's
always watch a lot.
yeah, let's kind of cruise through this and the listen list because we still got a lot to cover here.
Okay.
But the watch list, I had a listener suggestion which we've not
Yay.
hit yet.
So this is a suggestion for all of us,
Yeah.
including us.
Yes, including us. And I've seen this one. It's Hugh Grant's latest
And Nicole Kidman.
movie, and Nicole Kidman, and it's called The Undoing. It's on HBO.
I think it's a series.
Is it a series?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a limited series or whether it's returning, but anyway, it sounds interesting. It sounds like rich people getting in trouble for a murder.
Murder mystery kind of thing.
So,
We'll definitely be checking it out.
check it out. Yeah. And it was funny. You mentioned that Dan Levy was on Saturday Night Live. And one thing you binged like a bat out of hell over the last couple of weeks was Schitt's Creek. I know we've talked about it before.
We talked about it last year at one point, mentioning that we could only get through like the first 2 episodes and it didn't hold our attention. But I've heard so much about it in, more recent months because I think it finally just hit, that critical mass where everyone was talking about it and falling in love with it. I decided I was ready to give it another chance and left Jim in the dust without letting
You
him
didn't
catch
even
up.
let me know that you were watching. It was the next thing I know. I'm like, oh, you're watching Schitt's Creek again. What season are you on? Like
You were out
season
drinking bourbon
3?
with your friend Mike one day. And when they're 20-minute episodes and there's 13 episodes in a season, you can watch a season a day.
Right. Yeah, you can.
Right,
you can
everyone?
crank through those.
Anyway, I know we aren't going to go on and on, but Schitt's Creek is the most wonderful. If you like, I don't know. It's funny, but it's the wonderful characters, and you absolutely fall in love, and you're gonna cry when it's over. And
This
I
is
can't
legit.
say enough good.
When Jen watched the last episode, she was up in her office and she came downstairs and her face was all red and she had tears in her eyes, and I'm like, what the fuck? What's going on? And well, I just watched the last episode of Schitt's Creek. And I'm like, well, did somebody die? No, it was happy. Okay, it's one of those.
All right, enough making fun of Jen.
Yep. Anyway, Schitt's Creek did not disappoint. For all of you that have already been, raising the flag towards
We
Schitt's
listened
Creek.
and-
One of us listened anyway.
Hopefully I'll get him. Maybe I'll watch it again and make him go through it with me.
Yeah. So anyway, the return of another show on AMC Plus or the Shudder Network is Discovery of Witches.
Yeah.
And
Season 2 has begun.
yeah, season 2's begun. We rewatched season 1.
You really have to have it fresh in your mind.
Yeah.
'Cause it's such an intricate story.
And it's fabulous. It's
Yeah.
absolutely fabulous. It's based off the books that are, Jen, you've read them.
It's the book trilogy by Deborah Harkness.
And what's the name of the trilogy? It's the All Souls?
The trilogy is called the All Souls trilogy, but book 1 is Discovery of Witches, or A Discovery of Witches.
And does the season 1 follow book 1?
Pretty much.
And season 2 is book 2?
So far, yeah.
Okay. So, but they're just keeping the Discovery of Witches name for the whole series.
Yeah, it's the more, I guess, appealing name. I would think.
Anyway, again, it's what do you call that? Young adult literature, isn't it?
No, I don't know. They're fully adults. I mean,
No, I thought it was kind of like meant for young adults.
I would disagree. I mean, I know you haven't read the books yet, but they're really sophisticated novels.
Okay.
These are adults in their 30s, so it's not aimed towards the young crowd.
Got it. So it's not like a Twilight series or anything like that.
No.
And not to compare vampires and witches in these books, Deborah Harkness's books, to Twilight or anything else or Harry Potter.
She's a smart writer, very scholarly. I mean, it's in the world of academia. The main female character is a doctor, a professor, and she's teaching at Oxford in England, and it's smart stuff.
It has a lot of the things that you and I collectively love about programming. We love the supernatural type of shows. We always kind of lean towards that. Ever since we watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer years ago, we kind of got hooked into that genre. And this one is very, very smart, and I've loved it so far. Main characters are vampires, witches, and demons, and they all hate each other, yet coexist.
Trying to be the first to discover their origins, centuries ago.
Really, really cool. Yeah. And then some time travel.
Yeah.
So if you dig time travel,
and that's all the spoilers we will give you.
But hey, we're here trying to give people stuff to watch.
Oh yeah, you want to watch
encourage them. And this is one of those shows that if you like that genre, you're gonna love it.
Right.
But we're all over the place, and I look at the next one on the list here.
I know, as I'm looking at that too, it could not be any more opposite.
We're all over the place, and what's fun about the pandemic is all the TV we're watching. But it's amazing that we get hit from every angle, from friends and listeners and you name it, of shows that we should watch.
This one though, we stumbled on all by ourselves.
We did.
One word, Letterkenny.
Letterkenny. And it's on Hulu, right? And it was just kind of one of those things. We were watching something else on Hulu and kind of scrolling through, scanning.
You might
else you might like this. Yeah. And we was like, oh, Letterkenny, that sounds. Oh, okay. So it was filmed in Canada. All right. Well, let's give it a watch. And it just sucked us in from.
We were cracking up through the whole. And it's another show where they're like 20, 21-minute episodes.
Right.
But we were on the floor.
It is hilarious.
These guys are really offbeat, and I think the star of the show is the main writer of the show,
right?
And
it follows it's a small town in Canada, and it follows social groups.
Yeah, the Hicks, I forget what they call them, the druggies, the townies,
the hockey players,
how they interact.
Yeah, and the hockey players.
Yeah.
And I don't, I have friends from Canada, so they could probably tell me whether it was pretty accurate or not. But I'm imagining that the stereotypes are very spot on, from the show. To Jen and I, it's just hilarious because you have these guys that seemingly seem like they're stupid, but the writing is so smart that the stuff that comes out of their mouth is just I found us just both sitting there with our mouths open, just staring at the screen, just because. And there's so crazy.
6 seasons, and we're like, how did we never hear of this show before?
Right,
Can't imagine.
It's pretty awesome. So if you need a good laugh and something that is completely off the wall and different, watch Letterkenny. I think it's only on Hulu right now, at least. So anyway, next, one of Jen's favorites.
Yeah, we revisited the Die Hard
There was
series.
kind of a little bit of horse trading that happened here because we traditionally have movie nights with our son. It's the only chance that we actually get to hang out with him.
All right, yeah.
As we instill these movie nights so we can actually hang out, because most of the time he's up in his game room gaming.
He was clamoring to rewatch Lord of the Rings.
Yep. So we watched the Hobbit trilogy. That's 3 3-hour movies.
Totally.
And then we watched the Lord of the Rings trilogy, which is another 3-hour movies, right?
Yeah, and I agreed to this, even though I freaking hate orcs. I watched all of them, and
and you're better off for it.
And
I think.
I held them to watching the Die Hard series with me after that. So
that was the horse trading that happened. And trust me, there's nothing wrong with what's his butt, Bruce Willis.
They're fun.
As what's his name in the.
John McClane.
John McClane. Thank you very much. We did actually watch Die Hard, the first one, on.
We had watched that back in Christmas time, but so now we've watched 2.
Yeah,
Die Hard 2, and number 3 is next.
Yeah, number 3 is next, but we always get sidetracked in other things.
Oh no, it's still my turn.
One thing that we have been watching,
another new show.
Somebody recommended this one to us as well. Chris Carnes. All right. Should we say last names on the show?
I wasn't, but then you did. So
anyway, a friend of ours had suggested this show, In the Dark. It's on Netflix. It's awesome. The writing is fantastic.
Yeah.
It follows this visually impaired nymphomaniac.
Well, she's fully blind.
Yeah.
She's not just impaired. She can't see.
And she is very liberal from the sexual standpoint, and lives with her lesbian roommate that's exploring her lesbianism.
I mean, it's not about the sex stuff.
It isn't, but they sure make a big deal about it.
She's, she's kind of an angry blind.
Yes.
And, goes through kind of inflicting herself on people.
Ultimately, it's a murder mystery.
It is, yeah.
And she had been beaten up in an alley by some drug dealers, and a young kid came and basically saved her life from getting beaten up, and they became friends. And within the first episode,
he goes missing.
Yeah. And she starts looking for him and find out that.
So she's basically, taking this investigation on her own. She feels like the police are doing a shit job,
right?
And it's it's like she's not a private detective, but it's that kind of vibe where she's like thwarting the police and doing it on her own and coming up with more leads than they are.
Yeah, I think I like it because it's like every single person in the episode is broken in one way, and that makes it a little bit more realistic.
Good writing, good characters.
Yeah, definitely, and I really like it. So yeah, definitely, folks, check out In the Dark. I think there's 2 or 3 seasons.
Oh, I didn't notice that yet, but I think
somewhere
that's
around
about right.
there. Yeah. So I think we've just wrapped up season 1 or getting close to it or something like that.
Yeah.
So anyway, watch that. The next one was a little guilty pleasure, right?
Oh yeah.
Always
a nonfiction.
I think Jen and I probably have an unhealthy love for home and garden TV, and we tend to watch a ton of home improvement type shows because we're homeowners ourselves. But we also love foodie shows.
Yep.
I think we've mentioned it multiple times. One of our favorite movies is Chef, and I enjoy movies like that and The 100-Foot Journey and whatnot. And I'm a sucker for travel and food. And there was a show on Discovery Plus, which is a new streaming service, that features Bobby Flay and Giada De Laurentiis. And they're both, cooking celebrities.
Right.
And I think it's like a 6-episode streak of them in Italy eating and laughing, and they're
cooking.
both beautiful people, and they're fun to watch. And Giada's got like a megawatt smile, so it's
you want to squish her, but at the same time she's so adorable that you can't help but like her because she really lights up the room with that smile, and you kind of then you just forgive her for being a twig. And eating pasta all day long.
All day long. But it's so much fun because you know that they're just having a blast.
It looked like.
And for folks that travel and have that bug right now,
it's a commercial for Italy, for sure.
Yeah, and we're stuck at home. It's just like, oh my God, I want to be there right now.
Yeah.
Rome's next on the list.
Tuscany.
Yep. So I can imagine. Hopefully they'll do another series together. They were talking about it, but hopefully they do that. Another one that we watched recently on Disney Plus. What did you think?
About WandaVision?
Yeah.
I actually was completely won over by it. I was totally skeptical seeing the commercials.
Sure.
But Carter, I think, had heard some great things about it. And so he let's watch this.
He read and was bragging before we even, he knew spoilers and, knew this and that about it. But he was exclaiming, "Okay, I'm loving this show." Yeah, I was so not sure what I thought it was just going to be a real kitschy take on the Marvel universe. However, it's not that way at all, folks. So if you have any sort of inhibitions for not watching it, ignore those.
Yeah. The deeper story starts to be hinted at in the first episode, and by the second and third, something interesting is going on.
Yeah.
And then you get swept up in it.
It's not kitsch at all. And it really kind of follows the Marvel universe timeline of Thanos and the Snap and all that stuff. So if you have Disney Plus, definitely give WandaVision a watch.
Yep.
And then finally, one more show on
Right
the watch
after
list.
the Super Bowl,
Right.
we watched the new Equalizer
Right.
with Queen Latifah.
Yep. And this is a remake of an older show. I can't remember the actor's name.
Pretty
that was
old.
On it. Yeah. And then I think Denzel Washington
Did movies.
Yeah, he did movies of The Equalizer. Yeah. And so this takes a little bit of a turn with Queen Latifah.
Well, making it a female lead.
Yep.
And she absolutely is badass.
She is so badass.
Great. Sticking up for those who can't stick up for themselves kind of thing.
It's funny to actually be watching a network show.
We never watch CBS either.
I know. It's so funny. We never watch anything on CBS.
I know. You do that so well.
Yeah. Anyway. So, yeah, definitely give Queen Latifah a chance because that's all we're asking.
Yeah, there's just the one episode so far.
Yep. It was really, really good.
Yeah, 2 thumbs up.
Yeah. She's an ass kicker. And so that's kind of the watch list for this episode.
It's a good list.
A lot of things on that list. You're not going to get tired, folks, if you take our advice until we talk again in another couple of weeks.
Yeah.
That
brings us to...
Yeah, we can't have the watch list without the listen list. And, want to definitely give our Spotify playlist another plug here. Yeah. Every song that we, listen to and talk about on Disturbin the Burbs, we've created a new Spotify music playlist. So just go out to Spotify, do a search for Disturbin the Burbs, and you should be able to find our playlist. Or you can go to our website, disturbintheburbs.com, and there's a little announcement bar on top of the website that if you click on that, it'll take you right directly to that Spotify playlist. It's an eclectic list. It may not be for everyone.
Oh, I think it's a great way to share the songs we talk about since we can't play them on the podcast.
And we're all over the spectrum, although I try to keep a certain vibe on the playlist.
I mean, we're typically not talking about classical or
right.
opera.
There's not a whole lot of country going to be on there.
Right.
But it's music that, I always kind of think that it's music that kind of gets you moving in your seat, and makes you bounce.
Yeah, or groove.
We love funk and groove and soul music, and that tends to be what we kind of lean towards. But then every once in a while, we'll hear a song that's on a TV show, just a snippet of it.
I love doing
And I'll
that.
grab out the phone and I'll hit Shazam. And I did that for a song off of The Equalizer last night. Mm-hmm. There was a song on there that I just was kind of hearing it in the background. I said, oh, that's really cool. And it was a song by Roy Ayers, Everybody Loves Sunshine. And it's really kind of a nice, slow soul jam from the early 70s. I put that one on the playlist, and it's kind of poignant because right now we're in the middle of winter.
The bleakest weather.
And I'm ready for some warmth and sunshine.
Yeah.
So that's a fun one to listen to. On the list this week is some of these aren't even new.
Right.
But they're worthy because we're just coming across some Katy Perry's. There's a song called Smile. And if you go out to Spotify, there's tons of remixes of this song. And the one that I really wanted to bring to your attention is the version of Smile that is the Marshall Jefferson remix. So look for that one. Or
it's on the playlist.
Yeah, or look on our playlist for that.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the next one that's on there is PJ Morton with Yola, Give the People What They Want. And then there was one that you came across, Jen.
Yeah, it's called Precious Love, and it's by James Morrison. Mm-hmm. And again, I don't know if that's a newer song or not.
Right. And what was the significance of that?
Okay, it was played during the end of season 2 finale of Schitt's Creek.
That's why it was significant for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's, they're having a big old dance party and all the family members and town people are there, and they're just literally, it's a joyful moment.
Right.
And this song is playing all through the end of the episode.
Yeah. Well, that's nice. And that's exactly why we hear songs on TV shows or
that's definitely
in commercials.
Yeah, we love Shazam.
Yep. And this next one on the listen list, and again, this is one that's been released for quite a while. It was from Brittany Howard, and this is off of her solo effort because she was also a member of Alabama Shakes.
Right.
And so she put out a solo record last year. and this was one of the songs on that. But the reason I have this on here is because we were doing karaoke at home. We have a pretty good setup here at the house for karaoke.
This song is on my karaoke list.
And that's on
Stay High.
Stay High. And that's a fantastic song, and you actually did a pretty good job. You did it well.
Thank you.
So you got to keep that one on your list. But yeah, give Brittany Howard Stay High. It's just a really nice, and she slow groove, and she's got such a fantastic voice, and anyway, I love her style and the way she delivers her type of music, and it's hard to explain.
She's unique.
It's definitely a cross between soul and R&B and a little bit of blues sprinkled in there. So yeah. Anyway,
so Paul McCartney came out with something new, huh?
Yeah, well, I think
this.
at the end of it was in October or somewhere in the last few months of the year, he released McCartney 3, and it's all new songs, and he played all the instruments on the album, so drums, guitars, you name it. You look at
cool.
You look at the credits on the album, and it's just got like a line of like 12 different instruments that he played.
Oh wow!
So the guy's super talented.
It's a pandemic project.
But it I haven't liked all of his solo albums.
Yeah.
But this was supposed to be a real throwback to his early Wings,
Nice.
years.
Is this a song on the album?
Yeah, and so it's Lavatory Lil, and it's a rocker and a lot of fun. I put it on the playlist as well. So yeah, Sir Paul McCartney and Lavatory Lil. I think we've got a couple more songs on here. Just to mention, again, there's this song that Dua Lipa came out with called Levitating. And I think the song's been out for a while.
Okay.
But again, there's a lot of different mixes out on Spotify.
Okay.
And there's a version of this that is done with Madonna and Missy Elliott. And I love Missy Elliott. Mm-hmm. And not so much Madonna, but it's actually really, really good. Again, it's one of those songs that just kind of gets you,
yeah, you played that
popping
one for
back
me.
and forth in your seat. So it's a lot of fun. And finally, wrapping up the listen list is this song called Ginger. From DJ Riton. I don't know. It's Riton, so I don't know if it's Riton or Riton. And this singer called Kahlo. And, you might as well be speaking German to me because I have no clue who those people are. I can't even remember where I heard this song.
Oh, that's funny.
I just remember that I heard it. I put it on my listen list and
liked it.
I liked it. It's definitely a mix of hip hop and R&B and whatnot. So it's not for everybody, but I sure enjoy it. It's our type of music. So again, it's on the Spotify
It's on
playlist.
the list.
So anyway, there you have it, folks. There's our watch list, followed up with the listen list.
All right.
Lots of things to listen to, lots of things to watch. And one other little segment that we wanted to start doing was this day in history. How's that? Is that pretty good?
Passable.
We'll do a real intro.
Okay. If this segment makes it long term, it'll get its own intro.
Right. Anyway, I'm always interested and sometimes amused at some of the things that you find out happened on this exact day in history. And of course, we always record this the day before I release. So I'm kind of like, these are for tomorrow, February 9th.
So you're committed. It will be out on the airwaves
I'm
tomorrow.
committed that it's going to be out there tomorrow.
All right.
So if I have to stay up till whatever. Yeah.
This day in history on February 9th. Mm-hmm. Shall I take the first one?
Sure. Why not?
Okay. So on February 9th, 1971, the first Negro League, which is baseball, veteran Satchel Paige was nominated to the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
That is a big deal.
Yeah. On February 9th, 1964, if you've ever seen any of those Beatles videos on the Ed Sullivan Show, that first one, that happened on February 9th, which is tomorrow, but today, technically. So that's when the Beatles were officially on the Ed Sullivan Show.
That's a historical event for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's another one.
On February 9th, 1960, Joanne Woodward got the first star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Isn't that interesting?
Totally.
Yeah, the first ever.
She was the first ever.
Right.
Huh?
And, Joanne Woodward, obviously an actress, couldn't name a single movie. And all that I really truly know is that she was married to Paul Newman. So anyway, great actress. First star, Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Very cool.
And I think the interesting thing about the Hollywood Star Walk of Fame is that you have to be nominated by a peer or something like that in order to get your
I'm sure there's
your
a
star on the
selection process.
Yeah, there's like sponsors and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But usually whenever you see like it being revealed, it's generally, the person that's getting the star and their sponsor. And it's usually another celebrity or something that they've worked with in the past and so on. So it's interesting. And then finally, kind of wrapping things up here, February 9th, 1942, Daylight Saving Time was instituted. So, there's some folks that love that and some folks that hate that.
Yeah, and a lot of people want to try to get it abolished,
Yep.
Okay, that's another topic.
So anyway, that's this day in history.
All right, February 9th, you rock.
Yeah. All right. Well, Valentine's Day is right around the corner. Last year we did kind of a hate episode, and really it's not. It wasn't that we were hating on each other or anything like that. It was really we were talking
tongue
about
in cheek. Valentine's is the sappy day of love. Let's talk about shit we hate.
Right. And it was really kind of centered around pet peeves and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So we thought we'd take another stab at pet peeves this year.
Totally.
This will probably be the last year that we do this.
All right.
You can only do so many hate episodes and until you run out of ideas or whatnot. But anyway,
challenge accepted.
Yeah, we actually put this question out to our friends and listeners of what are some of their biggest pet peeves, and
they came through.
Yeah, they came through for us. Parking lots seem to be big on the list.
It's a big theme.
and getting in and out of parking lots.
Various things dealing with parking.
Yes,
and people.
So why don't you take a first few of these, Jen?
Okay, so when you're trying to back out of a parking space and people or cars keep getting in your way, and you're like, ugh.
Yes, it's happened to me
my God,
so many
move
times.
already.
Yes.
I feel like I should go through and get all the parking ones. What's next, hon?
Oh, the next one is loud chewing. And I think probably a lot of people have an issue. And I think this one is particularly sensitive to me, too, because I hate...
You are very particular about this.
I hate open mouth chewing. And I hate very loud, crunchy things. And usually where it affects me the most is when I'm trying to watch something on TV and either my wife or my son sitting next to me, and it's I lay into Carter more than anyone else is.
You're very sensitive about it.
And I hate talking when people talk
yes,
during
you do. I believe this
movies
was on,
or TV shows.
This was on the list of peeves last year.
So. But again, very, very relevant, very timely since we watch so much TV.
Here's one that I agree with from our listeners' suggestions. Drawers and cabinet doors left open.
Yeah.
I swear I always am going around the kitchen pushing in the drawers closed,
Yeah.
So
yeah, it doesn't really bother me. It's not a pet peeve, but
clearly
I do close things. Well, it's interesting in our kitchen. It seems like sometimes when you kind of close a drawer hard, it bumps another one open or something to that degree. So I don't know. That's what I'm going to go. It might be ghosts. It could be little, impish spirits in our kitchen messing with us.
No, okay.
So that's probably what it is. In fact, I'm sure that's what it is.
Moving on. I believe this next one could be on your list.
Oh, it's definitely. But one of our listeners said that when they leave for vacation, they hate leaving a dirty house. Right. And I understand that. I get that. I like to have things clean because when I walk in, the last thing I want to see is dirty kitchen, dirty plates on the countertop or whatnot. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you want to come home to a clean house. I love putting clean sheets on the bed if I know that we're going away for vacation. So when we get back and crawl into our lovely, lovely bed, that everything is fresh and crisp and clean.
That is very nice. when it works out.
Yep.
Okay, how about people leaving shopping carts in the parking lot?
Yeah, that's a
inconsiderate.
Yeah, well, I always cuss out loud when especially if I see a cart in the spot that I want.
Yeah.
So, or the only one that's available anyway. People who don't use the roundabouts properly was another.
Yeah, that would make me mad. I mean, I don't run into that very often. And of course, we don't have that many roundabouts around us.
Yeah,
but
I don't know how
hard is it?
Yeah, how hard it is to use it improperly. So I don't know. People blocking the aisle in stores happens all the time, and I think the person that wrote this one highlighted Costco as a big offender.
Yeah.
And that's true.
I do hate standing around waiting for somebody to move out of my way.
Yeah. People are always stopping in the middle to chat or to look at something. And, was that Teddy?
Yep.
All right. Moving on.
People driving slow in the fast lane. That's idiotic.
Yeah,
Don't do that.
That's always a pet peeve. And this one drives people crazy, especially on social media, is grammatical errors and misspellings.
Yeah, people get all fired up about grammar.
Yep. Spelling your with Y-O-U-R instead of apostrophe R-E.
I'm a big grammar
saying
fiend.
T-O-O instead of T-O. Sometimes that's just spell check or not spell check, but presumptive texting or, I know, but
yeah.
Your phone fills in words for you. And if you don't pay attention,
Yeah, it's important.
It doesn't always
It's
catch
important.
Impotent.
General messiness.
Yeah, well, don't come to our house then. Yeah, because that's, that was our friend Dominic, and he is a neat Nick.
That's funny.
Yep.
Sorry, man.
Yeah. And then finally, this one has a bone of contention with many, many people because I posted this on social media at one point, which is the correct way to put on a roll of toilet paper, whether it's...
And you were set in your place, weren't you, honey?
I have no preference one way or the other,
and
whether
that's
it's
a
on
problem.
top or whether it's on the bottom.
That's a problem.
It's not a problem because I can still...
Putting it on so it hangs down the back is wrong. Not caring which way is wrong. The only correct answer is that it hangs off the front. So,
all right.
Enough said about that.
Enough said about that. So that was some pet peeves from our listeners and friends. I thought I'd just take things one step a little further and go over. There were some online polls. You can find all kinds of stuff. What are top pet peeves across the country? And I found like the top 25 pet peeves. And maybe you can keep a mental tally yourself, but let's go through these fairly quickly.
I'll do that.
And
no commentary.
No commentary. Let's just kind of go through these and see how many. Do you need a pen and paper?
Maybe.
To keep track. Here's a piece of paper.
Thank you.
Yeah. And here's a pen.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then that way you can kind of keep track of how many of these are actually pet peeves for you, and I'll do the same.
Okay,
but let's not call out which ones are and which ones aren't.
That's fine. And do you want to go every other one? You read, me read.
Sure, why not?
All right. I'll go first.
All right. So
number
one,
loud chewing or people chewing with their mouths open.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Number 2, when people are late or make me run late because I'm waiting for them.
Okay. Number 3, people who are chronically late. A one-off I can maybe understand, but it's incredibly rude to think your time is more valuable than the 15 to 30 minutes you're making me wait.
All right. Number 4, people who scuff their feet as they walk down the street, especially if they're wearing Uggs.
Mm-hmm, right.
That's pretty specific. All right.
No, like a slipper-like shoe. I get it.
Right.
Number 5, people smoking electronic cigarettes around non-smokers. Smoking is smoking.
It's hard for me not to comment on these because there's some things on here that just really doesn't bother me. But anyway, number 6, people who chew gum loudly and attempt to blow bubbles in confined quarters. Maybe we should have some commentary about this.
Number 7, the feel of chalk.
Yeah. Okay. Number 8, people who walk into the subway and stand right in front of the door. We don't understand that as much about around here.
Subway.
Yeah.
Number 9, people who don't cover their mouths when they cough. Well, that's like a crime right now.
Right. 10 people who discuss being on a diet while you're in the middle of eating something unhealthy.
Totally.
Whatever.
Number 11, people who say ew to the food on your plate. To the food on your plate.
Right. Yeah. Whatever you ordered, ew. 12, people who eat food off your plate without asking first.
Oh, geez. Number 13, when people ask if they can have some of your food as they make a grab for it.
14, people who use redundant hashtags on Instagram, like hashtag me, hashtag human, hashtag girl, hashtag selfie.
That's funny.
Yeah, I get that.
Number 15, people who say no offense as if it downplays anything insulting they say.
All right. I know that one pretty well. All right. Number 16, people who say literally when what they mean is not literal.
Yeah, those grammar Nazis are going to be the ones to
Right.
have that issue.
You know, there's a comedian that does a bit about literal. Maybe it's Patton Oswalt. I can't remember. Anyway.
Number 17, people who woo when their favorite song comes on.
Oh, what?
Okay.
Why should you why should
Celebrate
you hate
the
that?
music.
Right.
But no commentary.
Right. Number 18, hearing people bite their nails.
Number 19, people that clip their nails at work while sitting at their desk.
Yep, that happens. Oh, number 20 here. We've got a few more to go. When groups of people take up the entire side of the street. Move!
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
21, people who walk slowly or stop suddenly in the middle of the sidewalk.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, we kind of covered that with our listener feedback.
Oh, that's true.
Number 22, people who text like they're chatting, sending, oh my God, then how did you know, then LOL within seconds.
Oh, like separate.
Right.
Right. Separate messages.
Yep. 23.
Okay, 23, line cutters. Oh, there are social rules you must follow.
Right. 24, people who don't know how to get through airport security efficiently. It's been 15 years. You know you have to take off your goddamn shoes and can't have liquids and get your computer out of your bag. Yep. I think anymore, when I've been to the airport, they make sure you do that fairly quickly.
Some people are just nervous flyers. That's not one of mine.
Yeah.
But anyway.
All right, wrap it up,
Number
Jen.
25, people who stand on the left side of an escalator. Right is for standing, left is for walking.
Are you kidding me?
It's funny.
There's rules?
Never would have thought of that one.
Oh, man. So how did you do on the tally
5, 10,
of the
15, 16.
16 that you identify with as
Yes.
some of your pet peeves?
And you?
Wow, I was a lot less. I was 9.
Really?
Yeah. There's some things on here that
What can I say?
I
hate
can
people.
understand that people don't like it, but I had to measure whether it was really a pet peeve of mine or not. And yeah, only 9 of those kind
There
of
you
actually
go.
bugged me.
I'm bitchier than you.
You said it, not me. So anyway,
list.
that wraps up the show. Nice,
Valentine.
tidy hour here. It was a lot of fun chatting with you.
Yes,
We
always.
had a lot of things that we talked about. Chinese New Year.
It was a full episode.
Yeah. Watch list, listen list. This day in history. Pet peeves. A lot of fun.
Not a lot of swearing this time.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
We'll do better next time.
Yes,
folks.
we'll curse more in the next episode. For fuck's sakes. And on that note, love you, Jen.
Love you too.
All right.